Alan, I am massively, massively concerned that the truth will not out in this case.
Well, it's rather worrying, isn't it, Patrick, that we've had this row today about whether and what's happening with the review. I mean, in my perspective, the review's been sitting on a shelf for some time. I gather it was finished last summer. It hasn't seen the light of day. We're not quite sure why it hasn't seen the light of day. Clearly, there's a row about its contents and what should and should not be published. And as you quite rightly pointed out, in the interest of not only freedom of expression, but I think in the interest of national security, we kind of need to know exactly the lie of the land and the state of affairs that exists with this very important document. So I'm hoping that the loggerheads that we've seen, different departments at will come to an end very soon, and we will see the full unredacted report out on the street so we can judge for ourselves what's in it.
Why is it that certain elements of the quotes-unquote Muslim community in this country, certain elements, seem to be protected, whereas other groups aren't? Unnecessarily so, as far as I can see. If people are doing things wrong, like, radicalising people, why shouldn't that get out there? Why should there be a fear of a backlash to that?
Well, there shouldn't be any fear of backlash to pointing out that people are radicalising other people and that they're extremists within certain communities. It wouldn't be a backlash if we pointed out, as you said earlier, far-right extremists. No person from a similar community would go, oh, no, we can't talk about far-right extremists. The reality is that the longer that we hide the facts from people at home, the longer that, of course, terrorist attacks occur. You highlighted some statistics earlier. Another one that we, of course, know is that year on year, the number of failed terrorist attacks continues from radical Muslims to dwarf those of the far right, yet we still don't hear much about that. If we don't hear that, people are going to start wondering why we're not hearing that and whether there is indeed a conspiracy, if you like, to keep the truth from coming out. It does nobody any good not to tell the truth about these issues, because people can find out the truth themselves and then understandably are concerned about why that truth has not been revealed to them.
I find it laughable that there is even a notion that if the British public at large found out the true extent of things like the grooming gang scandal or where extremism really lies in this country, that there would be some kind of monumental public physical uproar. We have had numerous terror attacks in this country, and we have not had massive, wide-scale, violent protests or demonstrations as a result. We've had vigils, we've had candles lit, we've had moments of silence. Why do you think the British public are being insulted like this? We can take the truth.
Well, we can take the truth and we should be getting the truth. But there is a whole strata of thought, I think, within the civil service and beyond that doesn't want to tell the truth because it doesn't fit in with the politically correct version of the truth, which is that only X or Y can be bad people in this country and not Z in this regard. And we've all seen that across the board in many different areas in this sort of setup. This is just another example of us being told a version of truth that we're supposed to accept when the actual truth is very different. But it doesn't do anyone any good not to tell the truth, Patrick, as I'm sure you realise, because people can work out the facts for themselves, and that creates a much worse situation than if you'd been open and honest about the situation in the first place and allowed people to deal with that in the reasoned way, as you said, that we normally deal with these things.